on to Principles and Practice of Procurement. Unit 2, Matching Supply with Demand. Section 3, Inventory Management Techniques. By the end of this section, we should be able to explain the following techniques: ABC analysis, barcoding, radio frequency identification, just-in-time, vendor managed inventory, enterprise resource planning, and materials requirement planning. The first inventory management technique we have here is the ABC analysis. The ABC analysis is derived from the Pareto principle, which states that there are a critical few and trivial many. The ABC analysis is generally used in the classification of inventory based on their value of importance. Importance may come from cash flows, the lead time, stock out, sales, volume, profitability, anyhow the organization wants to classify their suppliers. Pareto is saying here that in an organization, inventory is broken down into three classes or classifications. The first class being the A, the B being the middle class, and the C being the third class, with items in the A quadrant being, or the A category being the most important or most valuable items. So in a production unit, all the items we think are very important to us, are very key, are very critical. These items have the greatest impact or value on our organization. We classify these items as category A items. And then those items from A we move to B. Those items that have lesser impact than A we move to the B. And then C definitely will be those items that have very low impact on our organization. So Barton is saying that definitely we have some critical few items or critical few suppliers that supply us with these critical few supplies. So we classify those people in the B at the A category, and then we move to the B and then the C. The second technique is the barcoding. Barcodes accelerate the flow of products and information throughout the business. So we go to these shops, there are ShopRite, Melcom, what have you, realize that whatever we buy, they use this machine to scan the items we bought at checkpoints, right? To know the price of the item. So whatever is on the product that is being scanned, that's what we refer to as the barcode. The codes you see some bars with some codes on the product. That's when it's that barcode has been coded with some information that is identified when scanned. Obtaining the price is not the only use of a barcode. So aside checking and charging transactions, these barcodes provide instant sales reports. So as soon as this item is scanned, automatically the system records that one item has been taken from stock. Automatically we know this is the quantity of this particular item that has been bought at this time. When that happens, definitely we know the level of inventory that is left. So if we used to have 50 in stock, right now someone has bought 5, we know now we have 45. It's not always that we have to go to counters to go and count how many we have, what we're supposed to do. No. This barcoding keeps track of our inventory at all points in time. So the barcoding automatically counts materials, that's the raw materials and finished goods. It also has the automatic sorting of cartons and bins on conveyor belts and palleters. We are able to track lots. So for instance, in our warehouse, we know that this particular item is classified in, or is being stored in shelf 9 or aisle 9. So anytime you're trying to identify this particular product, we just go to our system, our barcode system here. The barcode is able to tell us that whatever you're looking for, this is where you can locate it. You don't need to be going through your warehouse up and down, cracking your head trying to remember where to get particular materials or items from. It also provides timely production reports. Now we know this and this has been taken from stock. This is how much is left. What are we supposed to do next? Is it time to produce? Is it time to order? Is it time for suppliers to replenish? Barcoding just provides timely information about a particular material or product. We have the radio frequency identification. With the radio frequency identification technique, at all times there should be a tag and a reader. A common example of this would be our current doors we see in our offices. You realize there's a reader, the door locks. It's not, lately we don't need keys to open our door. It's just a machine fixed in the door, right? That automatically locks the door when it closes. And then you need a card, a company card. So once you get to the entrance and you show this card to the lock, the door reader, it's able to read the tag and then know the details of the card. So now we know, should we open the door, should we not? Is this card allowed to access this door? Is this card not allowed to access this door? Alright, so that's the perfect example of a radio frequency identification. Now, radio frequency identification as an inventory management technique can be used to prevent overstocking or understocking for products or materials. It's also used for stock security by positioning tags or readers at various points, usually at exits, where these items trigger or alarms. It triggers alarm where the items are not actually paid for, where you're not supposed to take a particular item out and you're actually taking them out. It triggers the alarm, so we know this is what is happening. It's also used for quality control. Next, we have the just-in-time inventory management technique. This technique is used so that at all times you have minimum inventory at hand to meet customer demands. This technique is an inventory management technique that requires that organizations work closely with their suppliers so that materials that is needed in the production unit arrive just when we need it for production or just when we think it's the right time. So for this kind of material, we don't stock. Just when we need it, our suppliers supply. This technique aligns our orders, our raw material orders, directly with our production schedules. So on our schedule, we're supposed to do this today at this time. We communicate with our suppliers. Then today at this time, the materials is supplied to us or it's replenished. We don't actually keep stock of such materials. This just-in-time system or technique is used so that we don't waste resources holding or carrying stock materials, where we can actually use just-in-time technique where our suppliers will supply us just when we need it. So we save ourselves some cost. We move to the vendor managed inventory. This vendor managed inventory is a supply chain agreement between the buying organization and the supplier, in which the supplier of goods takes control of the inventory management decisions. So in this case, it's not the organization that is managing their level of inventory. It's not the organization that is going to keep stock of their inventory and then know what to do all the calculations. It's rather the suppliers that are going to manage the inventory for the organization. This technique is usually used in the retail distribution. So now, instead of the organizations pulling from their suppliers, that is managing their inventory and knowing the level it has gotten to, and then the economic order quantity, economic order level, and actually placing the order to their suppliers for them to replenish. Now, organizations no longer pull the inventory, rather it's the suppliers that is pushing the inventory to them, because now it's the suppliers that are checking the inventory levels and then are responding to our previously agreed stock levels. So our previous stock levels, which at all times our stock level is supposed to be at this. So now the supplier checks and realizes, oh, the organization have used this quantity and then they've gone below their stock level. So we're supposed to replenish. So it's the vendor, the supplier that is actually managing our inventory for us and not the other way around. Move on to the enterprise resource planning. The ERP or the enterprise resource planning is a software system that helps companies integrate operations such as planning, manufacturing, sales, marketing, inventory management, and financial across the enterprise. The ERP system is applicable to all organizations and allow managers from all functions or departments to have a consolidated view of what is or what is not taking place throughout the enterprise. An organization that uses the ERP system is the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority. So the ERP system is the system that brings all other departments together. So for instance, if I am an IT department and I need something from stores, I just play instead of walking from my department to the other department. I don't do that. I just sit behind my computer, log into my ERP system, place the order. Then automatically whoever is responsible, whoever is at the stores or the warehouse section, logs into the system, sees the order I've placed, who placed the order at what time, the quantity. The person checks if the item is in stock, then the necessary procedure or process that needs to go through for the item to get to the IT goes through. If not, then it's going to need to issue a requisition. Then the person responsible is who is supposed to issue the requisition sits behind their machine, issues the requisition. Whoever is responsible to take out from there, takes out from there. Like, right, everything is on a system. We don't need to be moving from one department, one office, from one place to the other. We just all sit behind our machines, and then this ERP system brings every unit together, every organization, every department in the organization together, and we all know what is happening. By implementing these ERP systems, organizations tend to have an enhanced operation which improves and controls their business processes, obviously alongside reducing their costs. Finally, we have the material requirements planning. The materials requirements planning, which is the older version of the enterprise resource planning, is an inventory management technique system that is used for calculating the materials and components needed to manufacture a particular product. By way of summary, we have looked at some of the major and most common used inventory management techniques for ensuring that supply always matches demand. And these inventory management techniques include the ABC analysis, the barcoding, radio frequency identification, just-in-time, vendor managed inventory, the enterprise resource planning, and the materials requirements planning system. Thank you.